Good morning and welcome to KidNuz. I'm Tori. Today is Tuesday, December 6, 2022. And we begin with deja vu in Georgia, where it's election day all over again. At stake is the U.S. Senate's only remaining undecided seat. After weeks of record-breaking early voting, today's runoff is the last chance for Georgians to cast their ballots, sending either Herschel Walker, the Republican, or Raphael Warnock, the sitting Democratic senator, to Washington, D.C. for the next 6 years. Neither candidate received enough votes back in November to win the seat outright. Officials estimate a record 1.85 million votes have already been cast. No matter the outcome, Democrats will retain control of the Senate. The only difference? Will they hold 50 of the 100 seats with Vice President Harris again acting as the tiebreaker, or will they have 51 and own the majority outright? For over 50 years, Frank Hudak has been lighting up his Richmond, Virginia home for the holidays. Starting in September, the self-described Mr. Christmas gets to work stringing up over 100,000 lights stretching 65 feet into the air. Also in his front yard, 100 illuminated figures, some of which he made himself. Holiday lights aren't the only attraction. He also blasts holiday music from his very own radio station. It's all part of what's known as the Tacky Lights Tour, attracting visitors from 38 states and 16 countries and raising over $175,000 for local children's charities. Mr. Hudak first began tinkering with lights when he was 10 years old. Now that he's 80, he's officially turning over the reins and lights to his next-door neighbor, who vows to continue the tradition. Mr. Christmas hasn't lost the spirit, though, and says he'll still be on hand to say hello. Talk about going from last to first. At the 2022 National Football Draft, 22-year-old Brock Purdy was the very last player to be picked, earning him the official title, Mr. Irrelevant. He then became the backup quarterback to the San Francisco 49ers' backup quarterback. But after season-ending injuries to the team's number 1 and number 2 signal callers, the rookie now finds himself leading one of this season's top NFL teams. On Sunday, Purdy came in and put on a remarkable display against the Miami Dolphins. Not only did he help win the game for the Niners, 33-17, he made history as the first Mr. Irrelevant to ever throw a touchdown pass. Speaking after the game, the rookie told reporters, "Every single week I act like I'm the starter. I've got to prepare like I'm the starter." Halloween may be over, but goblins are having their moment. Oxford Dictionary has announced 2022's Word of the Year, an annual distinction given to the one word or phrase that best sums up the mood of the last 12 months. This year's winner, Goblin Mode, decisively beat out Meta and #IStandWith 93% of the vote. An ode to the pandemic, Goblin Mode is defined as a type of behavior which is unapologetically self-indulgent, lazy, slovenly, or greedy, typically in a way that rejects social norms or expectations. The phrase first popped up in 2009, but fully entered everyday conversation in 2022. As the president of Oxford Languages said, in this third year of COVID, people are embracing their inner goblin. You just never know when a life-changing moment will occur. Case in point, Illinois 8th grader Cooper Thorson. With 3 seconds left to go in his middle school basketball game and his team down by 1 point, Cooper threw the ball, left-handed, across nearly the entire court for a buzzer-beating, game-winning basket. Caught on video, the nearly impossible shot has now gone viral and even made it into the #1 highlight of ESPN's top 10 plays of the day. Immediately after making the shot, Cooper, who says he was in complete shock, briefly fell to the ground shortly before getting mobbed by his teammates and taking a much-deserved victory lap around the court. That's it for KidNuz. Now, the KidNuz quiz. In what state is today's U.S. Senate runoff election taking place? Georgia. How many lights is Mr. Christmas stringing up this year? More than 100,000. 22-year-old NFL rookie Brock Purdy earned what title in the NFL draft? Mr. Irrelevant. What phrase was chosen as Oxford Dictionary's Word of the Year? Goblin mode. In our KidNuz kicker, an apple a day keeps the doctor away, but maybe hot dogs and ice cream can get the job done too. Just ask 82-year-old outgoing Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi. At last week's White House state dinner, a New York Times reporter overheard the octogenarian tell French President Emmanuel Macron that she eats a hot dog every day in the House cloakroom. And in a 2017 interview with Food and Wine magazine, she told a reporter about another unusual dietary habit. "I've been eating dark chocolate ice cream for breakfast for as long as I can remember," and said she didn't see any difference between that and a cup of coffee. Before we go, we want to shout out our terrific KidNuz teachers, starting with Ms. Nur and her rascals at Roland Elementary in Roland Heights, California. Mrs. Dubose and her International Nights at Shape American Elementary School in Shape, Belgium. Ms. Soria and her Cobras at Cane Bay High School in Summerville, South Carolina. Ms. Davis and her Eagles at Allen Village School in Kansas City, Missouri. And Mrs. Puala and her Bulldogs at St. Thomas More Elementary in Portland, Oregon. Thanks for listening, and thank you for helping us reach more than 12 million downloads. That's a lot of current events shared within our KidNuz community. We appreciate the loyalty, and we hope you tune in for more KidNuz tomorrow morning.